No matter what! Past my shield! Dragon War! Rending you up! Double demon finish without a hook! Going in! Burn it out! Lunar corruption! No escape! Lunar blast! Weapon! Double demon fang! On your knees! On guard! Lunar corruption! You're mine! Lunar blast! Double demon fang! Blood! Rending you up! Finish without a trace! I can carve through armor! Take this! Breath of life! Heal my weary companion! I'll stop its charge!
Incantation ruined!
Crumble! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Balancer!
Double demon fang!
Let me help!
Rising! I owe you one! Here I come!
In a bind?
Lunar corruption!
Dragon of War! Double demon fang!
Going in!
Blood! Rending you a bloody holiday!
Take this! It's over!
Babe.
Burn it out!
Rending you apart!
And just like that, I'm back in it. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done. By the power of flame! Venice!
You're mine! Dragon form!
Shattering the pieces! Attack on it!
You're mine! Dragon form!
At least you're eating!
Now you've gone and ticked me off!
Tornado drop. What?
Double demon fang!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Balancer!
Radiant light! Force of
Double demon
regeneration!
fang! I'm not done! Double demon fang!
Negative gate!
By the power of water! Back into the
You're mine! Dragon form!
flame of fury! Burning strike!
Here I come!
Here, let me help!
Double demon fang! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Hear my call!
Dragon form!
Here's a healing
Double
art!
demon fang!
First aid! By the power of flame!
You're
Finish
ready!
without a
I'm
trace!
not done!
Astral energy! Full throttle! Excited! It's over!
Dragon form!
Annihilation!
Double demon fang! Not today!
Breath of life!
Here I
Heal
come!
my weary
It's
companion!
over!
Thrilling performance!
Sorry. Make it rain!
I didn't want to...
Go for it! Prepare to crumble!
I felt better, that's for sure.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Looks perfect and tastes just as good.
You finally made it.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Dragon form! Come and face me! Dragon form!
How do you like being pounded into shape?
You're finished! Double demon fang!
Here,
You got fire!
I got this. Let him march. I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare thermometer. Going in.
Double demon fang!
Leave the enemy's arms to me.
No place here.
Take this!
Glacier shield. Here's evil.
Struck! Dragon form! Double demon fang!
On guard.
It's over! The flame
I'll make it
inside
rain.
is yours!
Get toasty.
Burn strike!
Lightning.
Struck! Negative down!
You've got pretty impressive aim there. Thought of picking up the rifle yourself?
This could be useful.
No choice! Dragon form! Burn in hell!
Hurricane of captivity.
Here I come!
Flaming meteor. Top field. Going in.
Double demon fang! Struck! Dragon form! Double demon fang!
Lock. Get toasty.
Burn strike!
Radiant light. Here. Hurricane flight.
You're mine! Here I come!
Frozen.
Hammer. Lunar corruption. Lunar.
Double demon fang!
In here. Do it.
Shield!
This one's got your name on it.
Action to action!
Opted for an intricately crafted weapon as usual.
It is beautiful in both function and form.
You're gonna hate when it gets scratched.
No choice! Dragon form!
In a bind.
Piercing roll.
Dragon form!
Lunar
Double
corruption.
demon fang!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Radiant pierce.
You're mine!
Mega ray.
Double demon fang!
I'm ready.
This one's got your name on it.
Action to action. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Double demon fang!
This one's mine.
Struck!
Negative
Hurricane flight. Blizzard blow. Lightning meteor. Do it.
Unity.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished! Swallow blade!
Hear my call.
Dragon swarm!
Spread. Hurricane flight. Burning
You're mine.
Blizzard
It's
blow.
over.
Here's evil. Flaming meteor.
I'm ready.
Blizzard blow. Demon's descent.
Flashing fang.
This could be useful.
Coming through.
Dragon swarm! Burn!
This one's mine.
You're mine! Come and face me! Double demon fang!
Reload.
They smite with blackened blade.
Flame. Reload.
Here I come!
Make it break.
Scout.
Demon's descent.
Flashing fang. Reflect on thy sin.
My turn!
They smite with blackened blade.
Double demon fang!
Do it.
Leave the
Shield.
impaling to me.
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble. Think we overdid it?
Now by a launch.
In a bind.
It's over!
Flame of fury. Burning.
I'm not done! Dragon swarm!
Hurricane flight.
This one's all mine!
Blizzard blow.
I'm not...
Flaming meteor. Going in.
Air pressure!
Flame of
Ignite!
fury. Burning strike! Here I call!
Do it! Shield!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Searing flame! Back into the fray!
It's over!
Radiant pierce! On guard!
Double demon fang! Dragon
Here!
swarm!
Flame of fury!
Glacial
Try
spear!
harder!
Pierce
My
evil!
turn! It's over!
Freeze laser!
Make it right! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Pierce
Like a
evil!
finely timed waltz.
Here I come! Dragon swarm!
Let's refrain from losing.
Do my best!
Dragon swarm!
You wanna play? Come at me!
Inferno cloak!
Double demon fang! Dragon swarm!
Everlasting dawn! Negative gate!
It's over!
Resonate with the earth!
Dragon swarm!
Naked rage!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! This one's all mine!
Flame!
Burn in hell!
Feast of thought!
I'm ready!
Radiant light!
Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
Wow. Look what I just found.
Let's see what you've got.
Dragon swarm!
This one's mine!
Negative gate! I can carve through armor!
Resonate with the earth!
Here I come!
Being interrupted.
Their body slam us into next week!
How do you like being pounded into
It's
shape?
over! You're mine! You're finished!
Burning
Dragon swarm!
Hear my call!
Double demon fang! You're mine!
In a bind?
Keep charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
You're
Get
mine!
behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Dragon swarm! This one's all mine!
Glacial burn! I'll heal you all!
Resonate with the earth!
Blizzard blow! Healing circle!
Burn it hell! Now I can let loose!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
You're finished!
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
Anything in armor is all mine! Feast of thought!
You're mine! You're
Everlasting
finished!
dawn!
Finish without a trace!
Piercing roar!
Blizzard blow!
Flaming meteor! Time to
Double
die!
demon fang!
Hello there! I'm out of ammo!
Can't get out of this!
First
This
aid!
death
Hold
shall
nothing
not
back.
be forgotten.
This one's all mine! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction
First
light.
aid!
Now I can let loose!
Water! Hear my
Now!
call!
Here I come!
Glacial spear!
Shockwave blast!
Eat dirt! Freeze laser!
Not today!
Let me have it! First aid!
Here I come! You're finished!
Dance on the wind!
Double demon fang!
Make it rain!
Hikara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Not by a long shot!
Glacial spear!
You're mine! Dragon swarm! Double demon fang!
Everlasting
Here I am!
Can't get out of this!
Take this!
Here, how do you like being pounded into
You're
shape?
finished!
On guard!
Double demon fang!
Their arts were interrupted! Time to stop!
Double demon!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Glacial
Dragon
Spear!
swarm!
Here's evil!
Let's give up pressure!
You picked the wrong fight! Here I
I'm
go!
ready!
Lock! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
I need to be stronger.
dispose of the trash.
Damn it!
Where are you going?
How about this?
You're finished!
Beast of
Grenade!
Here I
Switch to
come!
offense! Beast of
Here I come! Prepare to be sealed!
Do it! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Dragon Form!
bloody
Demon
one's
Fang!
mine!
With the
You're mine!
This one's mine.
Double Demon
I'm
Fang!
ready.
Fury! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
Hurricane
Here I
Strike!
come!
Lunar
Take it!
Blast!
Dragon Form!
Lunar Blast! Back
Double
into the
Demon
Make it
Fang!
right!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Radiant Pierce!
Here I come!
Hurricane Strike!
You're
Do it!
finished!
Beast of Salt!
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Here I come! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! No escape! Double Demon Fang! Try harder!
On your
You're mine!
Tough field!
pesky airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for yours truly! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
You're mine!
Not by a long shot!
Here I go!
Double Demon Fang!
Prepare to be sealed. Fleet of foot.
Double Demon Fang!
Let's talk through more doing!
Look sharp!
No escape!
Blizzard blow!
No escape!
Crescent moon!
You're finished!
Power of flame!
I'm ready.
Shield!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
You're mine!
Into the
It's
center!
over!
Inferno crossing!
Radiant
Double
Pierce!
Demon Fang! Dragon
Do
Form!
it!
In an instant! Impact Block!
So I still had room to grow.
An opponent like this should be easy. No escape! Dragon Form!
Water, hear my call! Spread!
You're mine!
This
Double
one's
Demon
mine!
Fang!
No further.
Lancer!
It's time! Dragon Swarm! I'll take you all on! Double Demon
I'm
Fang!
ready! Come! Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
Righted!
Shockwave Flash!
Lunar Corruption! Hurricane Strike!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Another incantation ruined.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now...
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
This one's mine.
Take this.
Take this!
Worth a shot!
Here I come!
No
Doubly! In an instant! Impact Block!
elusive deity. Rotating pile driver.
Good to know my training is paying off.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Let's see what you've got.
I'll take you all on!
How do you like being pounded into shape?
It's a duel of the Inferno Not in your
They
dreams.
smite with all pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for you.
We'll soon see about that.
In a bind.
Rising River! Here I come! I owe you one!
Take
Double demon!
Arch Shield!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! You're on! Take it!
On your
Strike! Eat them!
air pressure.
Dragon Swarm! Double down!
Rending your bloody howling.
Here I come! Dragon Swarm! Here I come!
Radiant light. Pulse of regeneration. Regenerate.
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain.
I'll try to be more careful.
Double demon! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Searing Flame!
Dragon Swarm! Here I come!
Take this.
Try harder!
Thanks, Trio.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I'm ready. Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis! Hear me!
This one's all mine!
Glacial Spear.
Here's the evil!
Burn in hell!
Freeze
You're mine!
Laser!
Dragon Swarm!
Grind you into dust.
Double demon!
I'll smash you. I'm ready.
Dolan! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Glacial Double demon fang!
Appreciate the help.
Dragon Swarm! Double demon fang! Chocolate Black!
Hurricane Strike.
Dragon Swarm!
Hear me!
Shield and
Flame! Burning Strike!
Elusive deity.
You're mine!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life. It's time. No further.
Flaming Thrust! Rising Fist!
Shine. Radiant light. Force of regeneration.
No more playing nice. Here, let me help.
First aid! Here's a healing art! First aid!
Demon Fang!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! I'm all stocked up! Mega Ray! Hurricane Throw! Searing Going in! That's my thing again! No defense! Hurricane Mega Ray! What's up?
Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang! Eat dirt!
I'll grind you into
Take this! Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Not on my watch!
Take this!
on your knees.
You're mine! You're finished!
No further.
Double Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Where are you going?
Negative gate. On your knees.
Searing Flame!
Here, let me help.
I'll heal you all!
Rising Monster!
First aid! Alphen! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Mega Ray!
Dragon Swarm!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Annihilation!
On... Blade!
Piercing roar.
Flame inside me! Yours to be left
Make it
free!
right.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hurricane
Take this! Dragon Swarm! Burn in hell!
Benediction light. further!
My head's spinning just... This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Strike!
I'll smash you!
On guard! 20 left!
Double Demon Fang!
Aw, too sharp! Leave the charges to me! Blizzard
Double
Roar!
Demon
It's
Fang!
in the sky, it's mine! Confiscated!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of
Double Demon
regeneration!
Fang!
Another incantation ruined.
So you clamor for my true power?
My call!
He who prepares is free from the
Resonate with the earth! Behold! The earth's pulse! Tectonic vision!
Demon Fang! I owe you one.
Cure!
You must retard healing me. I'm merely doing what I can. Glad you're on us, Wolverine.
On your knees!
Take this!
Resonate with
I owe
you
you
now
one.
or never!
You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
No further!
Dragon Swarm!
Evil!
Dragon Swarm!
Light up the dark! I'm ready to go! Annihilate!
Take this! Dragon
Hold on to your arms! Here I come!
I can carve through armor!
Do it!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Freeze
You're
laser!
mine! Dragon Swarm!
Glacial punch!
Double Demon Fang!
Lightning! Downfall!
You're mine!
Hurricane
You're
strike!
finished!
This one's mine.
This one's mine!
This isn't looking good! Take this! Hold nothing back! Dragon
Looks like you
coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
benediction.
Guardian field! Confiscated!
And more of this will all burn out! No escape!
Resonate with the earth!
Not bad!
On your knees!
By the power
Double
of
Demon
flame!
Fang!
Finish without a trace!
No further!
Take this! Dragon Swarm!
Glacial
Thrilling
punch!
performance.
You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
Denied!
Double Demon Fang!
Hurricane strike!
Dragon Swarm!
Blizzard
Double
Roar!
Demon Fang!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Malisa! This one's mine.
Dragon Swarm!
Inferno crusher!
Fluidity of your movements is simply
Hurricane
incredible.
strike! Going in!
Take it right. I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration! Armor won't save you!
This one's all mine!
Hurricane strike!
Not today! Thanks!
It's a hurricane!
You need this, Wolverine. Then tonight's meal is on
Hold
you.
on to your...
You've got
Where are you going?
amazing.
Try harder! Now! Here I come!
Daring flame! Reload!
Dragon Swarm!
Take this!
Double
No
Demon Fang!
further!
Look sharp.
I'm out of ammo. I'm all stuck.
Going in.
Elusive deity!
Blizzard
Fishing
blow!
pile driver!
Annihilation!
Double Demon Fang!
Finish without a trace!
Marshal and blast!
Strike! Here I come!
Look sharp. Far enough.
Double Flame inside me! Fury! Ignite!
Here, let's keep up the pressure!
Elusive deity!
Lightning meteor!
Armor won't save you! Dance on the whistle!
You require a hand.
I'm ready!
Lock! Get toasty!
First strike!
Ah, Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad.
Hey, chin up. This is your hometown.
Everyone around here looks so much happier than they used to.
I'll say. It feels like an entirely different place. I suppose it's had time to adjust to its newfound freedom.
Zephyr would have been so happy to see this.
Yeah, he really would have. Especially if he knew Law was... Law? Something bothering you, Law?
Nah, I'll be fine. It's just, you know.
It still weighs on you, doesn't it? Running away back then.
I abandoned my home. Then when I finally come back, it's been liberated. What's important is that it's free. I get that, I do. I just... I should have been here.
Well... rather plain.
I wonder if something...
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head too.
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Danan disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegus.
Lenegus? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way. All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby.
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors, and his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels? Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile.
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention. Looks like we made it here in one piece.
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
Something feels odd here.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast.
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Gotta break through! Dragon Swarm!
Take this!
One more!
Mega Sonic Thrust! You're mine!
This one! Eat dirt!
Their hide is thick as armor.
By the power of
Dragon
flame!
Swarm!
Vanish without a trace!
I'll take you all on!
Its armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop them!
You're finished!
Freeze Lancer!
Shockwave Slash!
Hurricane Foot!
Take this!
Nothing gets by me!
Double Demon Fang!
Here's evil! On guard!
Take their captivity!
Double Demon
Make
Fang!
it ready!
Doubly! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed wall.
Double Demon Fang! Strike! Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang!
Lion
Can't get out of this!
Piercing
Here I
roll!
come!
Do it!
You're finished!
Astral energy. Full throttle.
This could be useful.
Courteous, aren't you?
Where are you going? Hurricane
Take this! Here
You take it, dance on the wind!
Double Demon Fang!
Dragon Swarm! Rending you apart! Bloody howler!
Here I come! We got flyers!
I've got
Double
this.
Demon
Let a
Fang!
marksman handle it.
Dragon Swarm! All yours!
The enemy wields art too.
You'll soon see about that. Do it.
I thought you were going to wreck the place.
I'm not nearly finished yet.
Then I'll provide assistance however I can.
You're finished! You picked the wrong fight! You're mine! You're finished!
Make it ready!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Well then, let's keep moving.
We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
My face is starting to sting. My throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Shion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Gotta break through!
Ready!
Armor won't save you! This one is mine!
Shockwave!
No further!
Double Demon Fang!
A scream bathed in blood.
Dragon Swarm!
Rending you a bloody howler!
On your
For the weak point!
Here I come! It's over!
I'm ready!
Let's keep...
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
I'm not a little kid!
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them contain Earth astral energy. Luckily for me, this area is rich not only in fire energy, but Earth as well.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it!
Take this! It's over!
Lunar Blast!
Dragon Swarm!
To be sealed!
Ignite!
Lunar Blast! Here goes!
Take this!
Begin!
Solidity
of the Here I
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Now!
Get behind me!
Guys, I'll leave it to you!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Freeze Laser!
It's over!
Take this!
My head's spinning just watching
Here
you!
I come! Engulf you! What? Double Demon Fang! Here I come! Not done!
Thank you for that.
Just last
Take this!
Reflect what I think. They might flatten.
Here I come! It's time!
Sonic Spear! Tornado Drive!
Here I come!
Here I go! I'm only getting started!
Take this! Dragon Swarm!
Crescent Flash!
Burn!
Here's a healing art! Inferno
Dragon
Crossing!
Swarm!
Steering Blade! Reload!
You're mine!
In a bind!
By the power of water! Gemini Ultra!
Brilliant performance.
It's over!
Take this!
Mega Ray!
Double Demon
By the
Fang!
power of water!
Resonate with you!
Escape!
Stalagmite!
Mega Ray! Keep up the
You're
pressure!
mine!
Power of water!
Air pressure!
Here's a healing
Double
art!
Demon Fang!
First aid!
I'll blind you!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Breath of life! Feel my really
I never fit!
Perhaps now
wasn't time?
I really don't.
Make it rain! Kizara! Go for it! Prepare to crumble! Think we overdid it? Going in! Not by a lot!
Dragon Form!
Elusive deity! Look sharp!
Burn!
Switch on!
Dragon Swarm!
Beast of
Double
Salt!
Demon Fang!
Lightning! Deathfall!
Captivity! Here I come!
Healing circle!
Can't get out of this!
It's over!
Power surges.
This one's
with
only
remnant.
getting started! Flaming
Dragon Swarm!
Mega Ray! Going in by the
Rending you a bloody howling!
Mega Ray!
No escape! Dragon
Torn
Form!
up! Hurricane!
You're mine! The flame inside me! Yours! Amazing! Dragon
Tiger
Form!
Blade!
Double
Ryan
Demon
Power!
Fang! Easter! You're mine! Dragon
Inferno
Form!
Crossing!
Double Demon Fang! Dragon Form!
I never miss!
I'm ready!
Lock! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Here come more!
We'll just have to keep fighting.
Shattering up pieces!
Leave the enemy's arts to me.
No complaints here!
This one! It's taking too much
No
damage!
further!
Try harder! Not
Swapping! Forgive me. This is my fault. Negative gain!
You're mine!
Elusive deity! Hitting down!
Flame in sight! Yours! Light free! Heal! You picked the wrong fight!
Going in!
You're finished!
Coming through! This
Negative
one's
gain!
mine!
Armor won't save you!
Here I come!
Healing circle! Let them march!
surges.
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword and with my thorns.
Do it! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Here's a healing art!
Now! Dragon Form! Double Demon Fang! It's over!
Now where was I?
Great! Try harder! Now! No!
Make it rain!
Can't end here!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
This should do it!
Vanquished soul is life! Resuscitation!
There!
Gemini Aqua!
It's over!
Take this!
Double Demon
Make it
Fang!
rain! Kizara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem!
Here I come!
Far enough!
Dragon Form!
You're carved through armor!
I may have bit off more than I
Double Demon Fang!
Their arms were interrupted!
Here I come!
Ready to go!
The flame
never
inside me!
miss.
Yours to be let free! I can crush you! Finish!
Let me help!
Burn!
I mean, you're dead.
Dragon Form! Double Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
Here I come!
You made me angry! That was a bad idea!
This one's
Without his hand!
Resonate with me!
And just like that, I'm back in. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done. Leave the chargers to me.
Here's evil!
Heal my weary companion.
Double demon fang!
Alright. Now where was it?
It's on!
Use its weak point to take it down.
All together, everyone. Piercing roll.
This isn't ideal.
Demon fang!
Feast of Sol.
Sorry, I didn't want to put you out.
What are friends for? They can't depend on one.
Here it goes! I'll bear that in mind.
Do it.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I'll heal you all! Going in.
Take this! No dawn! You're on! Double demon!
Not here, my one!
How about this? Denied.
Dragon! And more of this and I'll burn out!
Do it! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
On your knees.
Double demon!
Mega ray!
On guard.
There!
Resonate with the earth.
Those are impressive skills. They took a lifetime to master.
You know, keep training.
Make it right! Ridwell! Astral energy! Full throttle!
It's on!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
Don't suffer in silence.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alvin!
Just watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
I can feel my precision improving.
Hey, is that it over there?
Have you guys checked? Your equipment lately?
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegus?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Xion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we—
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegus who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegus. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her thorns. Xion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Xion? Where'd Xion go? How could she just go off on her own? Xion. Xion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
they will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's too much. It's way too much.
When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Help it!
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this? It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegus and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegus.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Well, that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it. Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand at all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
I need something to eat. You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that'd mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it, The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dahna. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dahna even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Dahnan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dahna, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis' infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renins actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep...
defense down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important it's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process? It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.